Okay, so let me show you how easy it is to change the DNS for your domain name. Now, this is something that I think is, depending on which registrar you're working with and who you're working with, it's actually a very simple process. Basically, the art of changing your DNS or changing the domain name or name servers is simply pointing your domain to where your company is currently having your website hosted. So that's really all it is when it comes to changing the name servers. You're just going to point it to wherever it's being hosted. So in this case, I'm going to show you how to change the DNS. You simply click here. You want to select the domain name itself. Then you'll see, now this happens to be the inside control panel for GoDaddy, but of course you can use any name server you want or any hosting company you want. They'll all allow you to change or set the name servers. So in this case, we're going to hover over name servers and we're going to set the name servers. Now the name servers for this one already is already set. But if it was not set and you wanted to change it, all you would have to do is simply go in. I have specific name servers, and then of course you'll type in the name servers, and once you type in name servers you usually find name server 1 and name server 2. They can look various different ways, but you're going to need at least 2. Sometimes they'll give you 3 or 4, and basically these are for computers and backup computers. Don't worry about the details of this. The bottom line is that once you enter that information there and you simply click OK, it's going to now change where your domain name points. And then of course that gets your domain name knocking on the door of your hosting company in a sense, and then your hosting company says, oh, we've been expecting you, and then it just simply allows that domain name into where all of your files are currently being hosted on the computer, and voila, your domain name is now set up. Sometimes this process can take just a few minutes. Sometimes it can take 24 hours. It can take up to 48 hours. But I've seen most of the time this happen just within a couple of minutes to a few hours. Very rarely has it taken 24 to 48 hours. It used to many years ago. But still today, some registrars can, when you go to set this up, delay this process depending on when they make the changes on their end to 24 hours. So don't panic if your domain is not up and running fast enough. Now, a couple of other things that you want to avoid here. This is, I want to park my domain. Not to be confused with how you're changing your DNS or name server, because this will park your domain there and the domain registrar will add advertisements. So whenever someone types in your domain, relevant ads like I'm going to teach you to do will pop up on the website that they've set up for you, but you won't get any credit for it. Okay? Then there's I want to forward my domain. Now this will utilize their name servers, but at the same time it will forward your domain to some other place. Now this forwarding isn't the same as hosting. It's basically, for lack of better wording, it's a redirect of your domain to point it to another domain, but it's not hosting. So you don't want forwarding services. And then if you say, I have a hosting account with these domains, they're actually asking, do you have a hosting account with them? And if you say yes, they're going to automatically change those domain names to their hosting company, thinking that you have hosting there. No, you want to be very specific about changing your name servers based on the ones that you received in the email, unless you're hosting with the company that also has the domain registration, and of course they'll give you the instructions to make sure that you type in the right information. But here's the deal, folks. Don't panic. Don't worry about it. If for any reason this information is not set up correctly, you would just log in. Maybe you'll contact their customer service, but if you log back in, you'll simply change this information. And as I indicated earlier, sometimes the changing of the DNS can happen in just a few minutes. It can happen in just a couple of hours, but rarely does it happen over a 24 to 48 hour period. It usually happens pretty quickly. So don't worry if you sort of flat thumb something here and type in the wrong information. Most of the time when you do, it's going to double check that information to find out if it's the right information, and it'll give you an error, and then you want to check the name server information. Click OK, and you're in business. Okay, so now in the next video, I want to move on to building your content that's going to go on your website. And all of this information that we're doing is all in preparation for getting your website ranked in the search engine. So let me show you how to begin to build the content. Let me also show you where to get that content in case you have writer's block. See you on the next video.